Hey everybody, welcome back to Guys Night Lab. I'm Jesus Velasquez, and Jordan Zacharias is not with us tonight. But anyways, it's December 31st, believe it or not, 2021, and the year is almost to an end. It's been a crazy year. It's been a great year, sometimes not so great year. But I just want to thank you for being part of Guys Night Lab during Halloween and Thanksgiving. And I know we were going to be here for Christmas, but things just got kind of crazy. And I wanted to take this time just to say Happy New Year's. Hope you guys had a great Christmas and holidays. And we will see you next year with Guys Night Lab. But before we end the year, I wanted to take this time to actually review some of my favorite movies of the year. And, with lockdowns and stuff like that, half the year, about like maybe 4 months into the year, things were not open. And so about, I think, March or April, the movie theaters opened up. And one of the first movies I saw in the movie theaters when they opened up, Jordan and I went and saw it, and it's actually one of my favorite movies of the year. And so that from this point on, I'm just going to talk about my favorite movies of the year. P.S. There are spoilers, so if you haven't seen these movies, stop and go watch them. But one of my favorite movies of the year was Godzilla versus Kong. That movie was awesome. It was so great. I took my son to go watch it because he's a huge Godzilla fan, and I saw it a couple times. But it was just so great to just see Godzilla and Kong on the big screen. The movie in itself maybe the storyline wasn't amazing, but who cares? The fighting scenes between Godzilla and King Kong is what made the movie. The dialogue and maybe the screenplay wasn't the best, but I still love that movie. But yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong is a special moment, and especially when my son and I saw it, and when Godzilla and King Kong were fighting, he was just like, "Oh yeah, go Godzilla!" And then, so here's a spoiler. So there's a part at the very end when Mega Godzilla comes out, and then so there's a point where like Godzilla like beats up Kong, and then my son comes up, looks at me, and he's like, I kind of feel bad for Kong, even though we're rooting for Godzilla. He's like, oh, and so then Mega Godzilla comes out, and he's beating up Godzilla, and then my son looks at me, and he's like, wouldn't it be cool if King Kong came and helped Godzilla? And in my heart, I was just like, just wait, son. And then when Kong starts helping Godzilla, like the twinkle in his eye, and he was like, yeah, it was like the best moment. So Godzilla vs. Kong was definitely one of my top movies this year. Another movie that was really fun, it was a good summer movie, was Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. That was a fun movie. It felt like a total summer blockbuster, and it was just fun. It was entertaining. It was funny. So Free Guy was another great one that I loved this year. A new one so I wanted to focus on more movie theaters movies, but this one didn't come out in movie theaters. I wish it did, because it actually was pretty fun and kind of cute. Was 8-Bit Christmas. So it's on HBO Max. It stars Neil Patrick Harris, Doogie, and he is telling a story about how he's trying to get a Nintendo for Christmas. If you're anywhere between the ages of 30 to 40 to whatever, you would love this, because the nostalgia hits home. It's totally the 80s and how all of us love Nintendo. I was super disappointed that it wasn't in theaters, because I love going to theaters. If there's movies streaming on like Matrix or any other movies like Dune or whatever that's on HBO Max, I don't watch it on HBO Max. I go and watch it at the movie theaters, because I love the movie theaters, and I try to support it because I don't want it to go under or whatever. So, but 8-Bit Christmas wasn't a theater movie, but I still liked it, and it was a great movie. Yeah, you should check out. Another movie that was on streaming, and this will be my last streaming movie, was Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. That was another one that I wish was in the theater, because it was really fun, a lot of great characters. It just felt like a big movie that should have been on the big screen. But that one's on Amazon Prime. So if you haven't seen that one, definitely check out Tomorrow War. Okay, so now back to the actual movie theater movies. So I mentioned Godzilla vs. King Kong, Free Guy. One of the movies that I loved, it was kind of crazy. So this is a rated R movie, was Halloween Kills. This movie was pretty brutal, really intense, some gory, a lot of killing. But I just love Michael Myers and the Halloween movies and stuff like that. Definitely not for the faint of heart. If you don't like horror movies, do not check it out, because it's pretty graphic and there's a lot of killing and murdering and stuff like that. But if you love horror movies and scary movies and that stuff doesn't really get to you as much, definitely check it out. Like I said, it's pretty intense, so just be prepared. If you like scary movies but you're not big on like horror or killing and stuff like that, probably not for you. But Halloween Kills was definitely one of my favorite movies of the years. My last two movies I'm going to save for my favorite movies of the year was Ghostbusters Afterlife. I love that movie. It was awesome. It was so much fan service, and it was great, and it was just entertaining. It had a lot of heart. It was there's moments where you're laughing, you're cracking up, you're cheering, and even like tearing up because you're just like, oh man, like it just, like I said, it had a lot of heart. So Ghostbusters Afterlife was a movie that, if you haven't seen, definitely check it out. You know, if you're going to movies on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, check that one out. And then finally, probably my number one movie of the year is Spider-Man No Way Home. That movie is amazing. It has everything, no pun intended, by the way. It has everything you want. It's got fan service. It's got action. It's got a heart. It's got humor. It's dramatic. I mean, it has it all. I went to see it opening night, and it was a packed house, sold out, and people were like cheering, laughing, like clapping. It was just such a good moment. Like when I watched Avengers Endgame and Avengers Endgame, there's moments in that movie like when Captain America gets Thor's hammer, or other things where people are cheering and going crazy and stuff like that, or when he's like Avengers Assemble, like everyone's cheering and clapping and going stuff. And I was like, oh man, we'll never have a moment like that again. Well, then No Way Home came out, and we got that moment again. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. If there's a way you could see it where there's a packed theater, definitely check it out that way. There's a lot of movies that came out this year that I didn't make my list because I was just keeping it a short list. But I'm sure there's a lot of great movies that came out this year, and a lot of not so great movies that came out this year. And maybe I'll make a list for the new year of my least favorite movies that came out. But until then, that's just a short list of the movies that I love this year and that you should probably check out. Or maybe if it's not your cup of tea, don't check them out. I'm actually going to see a movie tomorrow, so I can't review it, but American Underdog. But maybe I'll review it for the new year. Anyways, from Guys Night Lab, I'm Jesus Velasquez, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy new year. And here's to 2022, looking a little more up, and hopefully things get back to normal, and we could go on with our lives and watching movies and all that jazz. So for me, and I'm sure Jordan Zacharias, wherever he is, I want to say Happy New Year, and we love you all, and take care from Guys Night Lab. Bye.